Quoted by Maurice Heidelberg. What does humble and kind mean to you in a perspective of being thankful?
Maurice, you're on mute.
Fellow Toastmasters and honored, oh, let me pause. Let me start over. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, the question that's been posed to me, what does it mean to be humble and kind in the context of being thankful? Similar to what I stated at the invocation, anything that I've attained or anything that I've accomplished, I need to be appreciative of that, because one, that those things didn't have to happen, and second, some of those things can be taken away. And in being thankful is being humble and being kind on the things that I've accomplished, and also being helpful for those who want to achieve or obtain the same things. So that is my perspective of being humble and kind in the context of being thankful. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Maurice. Okay. So other than that, who would like to go next?
I can go next.
Okay. So based on being thankful, what are your hopes for this group in the context of being thankful?
Could you repeat the question?
So the question is, due to being thankful, what are your hopes for this group?
Okay, so the question that was posed to me was based off of being thankful, what are my hopes for the group? I think that for our group as a whole, with being thankful is really important to understand that there's a lot of stuff that is going on in the world, especially looking at world events and all the stuff that's been tragically happening, and just really being able to realize that the ability to be alive is really much a big deal. Like even being at the hospital and seeing the loss of life and all the stuff that's been going on with people having abilities or having their health being taken away from them, all of that stuff is very much just devastating to hear about. So for the group as a whole, it's just to really focus on taking care of ourselves, just both mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and in all the different ways, and being able to just be mindful of the people who don't have all the same resources or have the same capabilities or even the same amount of health or anything else that is in our lives. So just being able to be mindful of all the stuff that's going on around the world and even just in our own communities. That's kind of what I would pose as the message to the group as a whole for being thankful. Back to you, Donovan.
Thank you, Bethany. Who would like to go next? Okay. David. So being thankful can also by doing something good for another person. So what is one charitable act have you done this week? When did you do it?
Thank you, Donovan, for that question, which is what is one charitable act I've done this week and when did I do it? We're still pretty early in the week, but I would say maybe this would count, that I spent some time with my dad today. I've told y'all before about my father. He's 96 years old, and which is amazing to still be on this earth at 96 years old. And he has a lot of health problems. He has severe COPD, so he's on continuous oxygen, but he still gets around, he still manages. But I went and spent some time with him today. I had lunch with him and I went grocery shopping for him. He used to go with me. I would drive him to the grocery store because he always wanted to get out and look around, but now he's too weak to do that. But I'm in helping my dad, that's something that is charitable in some respects, but it's also something I think families need to stick together and work with each other and help each other. And not just families, but everyone. I mean, that's when I do that for my dad, I feel better for myself as well. And it's a wonderful feeling. And I also would just like to quickly add that I'm thankful for modern dentistry, because when I went to the meeting last week, I was missing 2 teeth. I had lost a permanent bridge I had, so one of the anchor teeth broke, which is pretty shocking. But I've already been to an oral surgeon. I've had implants and a bone graft put in, and it's just amazing that in a mere 6 months from now, hopefully, I will have 2 new teeth. So then the entire process is mostly painless. So it's just a wonderful thing. There's so many things here to be grateful for, and especially like Bethany said, that we live here in a country that is, not at war, that we are relatively peaceful, because things could be so much worse. And thank you, Donovan, for that wonderful question. And back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, David. Who would like to go next? Okay. Carrie, on the topic of being thankful, what does spring symbolize to you?
One more time.
Speaking of being thankful, what does spring symbolize to you?
Bring I'm sorry.
What? Okay. What does spring symbolize to you?
I symbolize.
What does the spring symbolize? So he says in regards to being happy, being thankful, you're saying springtime, right, Donovan? What does the springtime symbolize for you? Is that what you're saying, Donovan? Yep.
Springtime. Okay, we are in fall, but springtime. Okay, it's happy to think about springtime. Okay, good evening. It is challenging question, but I would love to answer. I would say springtime, what makes me happy, of course, cherry blossom is one of the favorite tree or flower. That's the symbol of it's national flower in Japan. And when I see it, think about the spring and its pretty color, and also my home country. That makes me feel not only happy, but also peaceful. Because cherry blossom, when you have that, must be peaceful time. It's very sensitive. The flower is very sensitive. So when we have the spring storm or any disaster, it's gone quickly. So it must be very peaceful. So cherry blossom definitely symbol of spring, and it make me feel happy, peaceful, and sometimes homesick from my hometown. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Carrie. Who would like to go next?
I think I'm the only one left. I'm ready for one. I'll take it. Sorry about that. I was finishing up dinner, so I'm sorry, but I'm ready.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, by being thankful, what do you, um, by being thankful, what, by being thankful and thinking back down your memories, what was your favorite beach time activity when you were a kid? Why?
I think you're muted there, Olivia.
I said, Donovan, did you say my favorite beach time?
Yes.
Okay. Now give me that question again. In terms of being thankful, thinking back, what was my favorite beach time or my favorite time at the beach?
Your favorite beach time activity.
Oh, activity. I'm sorry. Okay, well, that's a very simple one. Good evening, Toastmasters and honored guests. My question is, what is my favorite beach time activity? Thinking back throughout the years and in terms of being thankful. And my most frequent or basically my only beach time activity other than making castles or things like that, the only thing I really ever did at the beach as far as activities was volleyball. That was my absolute favorite. I thought I was a superstar with the volleyball. And it is quite challenging to play volleyball in the sand. I'm sure we've all tried to run through the sand, walk through the sand. When the sand is very, very thick, it is it's a bit of an effort to try to have any kind of activity or playing or running around or moving at all because it's dense. But that's what I remember as a child, and I was just thankful now thinking back on it, just being thankful that I had the activities of my limbs, just being able to move and um, some of the things that we now take for granted. So many people are sick and disabled or just not getting the proper care that they may be getting, or elderly people. It's just so much going on with so many people. So just to still be able to get around, that is something to be thankful for. And looking back at it now, I'm most thankful those times that I got to play volleyball on the beach. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Olivia. Everyone, Caleb, would you want to answer a question?
Sure, I can answer a question.
Okay, so speaking of being thankful, this is from relationships. So if you can have any soccer player as your best friend, who do you choose and why?
Okay. Hello, Toastmasters and honored guest. My question was, if I could have any soccer player as the best friend, who would it be and why? Think about it for a moment. Hello, Toastmasters and honored guest. If I could have any soccer player as my best friend, it would be whoever at any given point is the top player for England's World Cup soccer team at any point. I would want them to be my best friend, if only because my boss would be extremely jealous of me, as he's a British man who is really deeply fascinated with soccer. So if I had the best soccer, or as he would say, the best football player of England as my best friend, I'm pretty sure that that would make me very happy. Although it might make my time at lab that much harder because he would both be jealous of me and critical of my work. And then it would just make the entire time, it would still be worth it. I'm not taking it back. I would have him be my best friend. And that is my answer. And back to you, Donovan.
Thank you, Caleb. Okay, I'm gonna, do you have time to do another question? Or should it be time to move on? Okay. I was gonna go back around, so of all the people that have already done it, who would like to go again?
Can I ask you one, Donovan? Would you like to do a table topics?
Sure. If it's only based off the topic.
Sure. My question for Donovan is, in the field of sports, there are a lot of sports figures that are very inspiring, that do a lot of things beyond just their particular sport field, whether it be coaches or athletes. And so, who is your most inspiring sports figure that you are thankful to have, and why?
Okay. Thank you, David. My question is what what any sports figure that I look up to, um that I choose, that I inspire from, and who I look up to. So personally, people would say Michael Jordan or LeBron James, but that's not me. I wouldn't choose a very famous player. The person that I would like to talk about is, people wouldn't expect to hear this, but one of the most important people in my life is my sister, and she used to play basketball. So I'll have to choose her as my role model, because ever since I was just a little kid, he always coached me, he always cheered for me, he always taught me all the skills that he did on the floor to me. One of the things that I, I do very well, especially that she did too, is to get in the other players' heads. So what I used to always do, and same as my sister, is to be annoying in front of the players to mess with their heads. Like, one of the things that we do is, ball, 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 like right in front of the player's face. And I always stuck, I always done that, and she has taught me so much about sports. And that's probably why I choose her as my role model. Thank you.
Thank you, Donovan. I love that answer. I was expecting some famous figure, but I love that it's a personal family member, and the way you describe that. So thank you. And we could probably still do one more if you'd like to, Donovan. Back to you.
Okay. Do we have time, Luis? All right. Who would like to go next? I'll go again. Okay. Luis, according to being thankful, what does the fall season mean to you, and why?
Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, in the context of being thankful, what does the fall season mean to me? One thing is that I am thankful that 100-degree weather is over for the year. Even though we might be headed towards 0-degree weather, I'm glad that the 100-degree weather is over. And all summer long, I was entreating that this 100-degree weather would go away. Because I mean, it was amazing. I mean, if I stood outside for 5 minutes in the 100-degree weather, it's time to go back in. And especially when it came to cutting the grass. Well, for the last few years, I wasn't able to do all the grass in one shot, unless I want to pay a price for it. But it was even worse this summer with I guess over 1 month of 100-degree weather, or more than 30 consecutive days of 100-degree weather or something like that. But that's the main thing I'm thankful for this fall season. Back to you, Topics Master.
Thank you. Due to the time, I'm going to go ahead and say that it was a great table topic session, and let me entreat myself away from my table topics duties and relinquish the lectern back to the Toastmaster for the evening. David?
Thank you, Donovan, for that wonderful table topic session, and thank everyone for participating. I think we all participated, and I would also add that I think that's a wonderful topic. A wonderful meeting theme is thankfulness. There's so much for me to personally to have gratitude for and to be thankful for, and it's good to be reminded of that, because sometimes, like back in August with the 100-degree days that Maurice referred to, it's easy to feel just down or feel negative, but there is so much to be grateful for. So thank you, and we will move on to our next portion of the meeting, which will be our evaluation portion. And Carrie is agreed to be our general evaluator, so I will turn the meeting over to her.
Thank you, David. Tonight, I am going to make overall evaluation very end of this portion. Let's start report. Bethany, please.
Thank you, Carrie. So tonight I was both the grammarian and the all counter, and I noticed that there were no misuse of the English language. In addition, we did not have any filler words being used. And as for our word of the day, we had it used once by Donovan. Okay, back to you, David.
Yeah, back to Carrie.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, well, back to Carrie.
Thank you, Bethany. Timer, please.
Yes. Good evening. I have the timers report right here. Well, let me do. Oh, oops, sorry about that. Let me see. Okay, have the timers report, and for my table topic, my first table topic was 1 minute and 21 seconds. For Bethany's table topic was 1 minute and 24 seconds. For David's table topic was 2 minutes and 7 seconds. For Carrie's table topic, it was 1 minute and 15 seconds. For Olivia's table topic, it was 1 minute and 34 seconds. For Caleb's table topic was 1 minute and 32 seconds. For Donovan's table topic was 2 minutes and 16 seconds. And my second table topic was 1 minute and 44 seconds. So that is my times report for the evening. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Maurice, for your report. Tonight is the happiest thing is that it's very nice having Bethany back, and we have 7 people in this meeting tonight. Very good, yay! And second, we all enjoyed and participated in the table topic. Thank you, Donovan, for very thoughtful questions. Some of the questions were abstract to me. Therefore, I had a good speaking training. And then third, today's word is intreat. It's a little hard to use it for me, so I had no chance to use it. But it would be nice we all try to use more. But it depends on the word sometimes. Sometimes we use really crazy, but sometimes we don't use it. Especially this word is probably not everyday word for me. But we all have a good time, and we start a very nice time, 6:40. And again, we have 7 people, and Bethany back. That's my evaluation. Back to Mr. Toastmaster David.
Thank you, Carrie, for the nice general evaluation, and everyone from the evaluation team for your reports. Do we have an educational overview for this evening? That would be next if we had one. I don't believe so, and I don't believe we have any awards. So thank you very much for letting me be your Toastmaster this evening, and I believe I will be turning the lectern back over to our president, Maurice.
All right, thank you, David. And thank you everyone who has taken a role tonight. I guess one thing I will ask for now is, well, I'll both ask and then I'll just encourage you to go to Easy Speak. But would anyone like to take a role for next week? Whether it's a speech or whether it's any other role.
I may have to
Yes,
host
I can
it.
take a. Okay.
I was just going to say I may have to host the meditation class I do next week. I'm not sure yet, but if not, I'll definitely be here.
All right, okay, all right.
I was gonna say, Maurice, I will take. I know you said you're not gonna be here next week, so I can take on your role for acting president if you need me to collect any data as far as club business, and I can also take another whatever role is available. I'll say put me down for general evaluator.
All right, okay.
I'll take Timo.
All right,
I could do the table topics.
okay, all right.
I'll do whatever available.
All right, that's great.
And I won't be in the meeting this October 30 through 20th. I'll be out of town.
All
So
right,
tomorrow, yes. So next week is the last meeting before the trip.
all right. Well, you have a safe trip. All right. All right. For those on YouTube, I bid you all a good night, and I'm glad that you tuned into this meeting.